Well, hello again everyone, welcome back. Today I'm reviewing another version of a cigar that I rated very highly a while back, the Room 101 Namakubi. This is the Namakubi Ecuador. And this is, the Vitola is called a Ranfla. Ranfla, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Here it is, the cigar, figurado shaped, 5.5 by 30-50. Starts out on the ends at 30 and it winds up 50 in the middle. And if we want to take it to the usual Tiny Tim degree, there's your density if you can make it out. But that's the way the foot looks. Really cool looking cigar, very dark brown. This uses an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, and it uses the same other parts, ingredients, if you will, that the original Namakubi used. So as you can refer back in the blog or video and find where I reviewed the Namakubi, it was an outstanding cigar, had a great rating. So I hope this one fares as well. I love the shape, I love the color, the construction is great. You have one little prominent vein right here. If you can look at it in the light, you can probably pick it up. Other than that, it is just spectacular. So let's get right to it, shall we? All right. Actually, everything looks the same on this band. There's the secondary band, of the lower band says Ecuador. Other than that, it's exactly the same as the other Namakubi. Now, on this clipping, I want to take off just a minimum. I'm going to try to take off. I'm going to test draw it after I do this. Okay, good. I want to show you how little I took off. There's what I actually took off. There is the cut. All right. So, great draw for that little bit of a clipping. This is going to be interesting because all you want to do is toast that foot ever so slightly. I want it to do just right if possible. There we go. See? Don't want to toast it too much. See how the end lights up? Looks like E.T.'s finger. Ha! On home. Alright, let's see what it tastes like. Wow. Wow. A ton of pepper. Black pepper. I retrohale most everything. A lot of orange citrus. A little light leather and earth. Very sweet orange citrus. It's like some notes of vanilla or cream. It's hard to make out right now, attached to that orange citrus to give it a smooth effect. The pepper is at least an 8. Very good, very nice. It's a good start. I want to let it settle down. I want it to I don't want to rush it. I want it to burn perfectly if possible. So the ash is already almost white, just a light gray. But that's how it starts. Had a big blast of sweet orange citrus with some cream or vanilla notes and a little leather and earth. You could tell both were there. Pepper is great at around an 8. So Great start. Even though it just started, it's a nice thick type of a sweet cream finish. So let's see where we go from here. The Namakubi Ecuador Ranfla. By the way, Ranfla, if I'm saying that right, R-A-N-F-L-A, it is sort of a souped up low-riding Chevy car. So I don't know where they get that term from, but Room 101 comes up with some names. But be right back as soon as I let it settle just for a minute as I watch it. As you can see, I'm not even a half-inch in, and the sweet orange and what appears to be a cream are so intense and mix so well that it reminds me of what they call those push-ups, those ice cream cones that were orange flavored and really sweet. They call it a push-up. This thing is incredibly sweet. It's sort of like that. The cream is intense. It is just, oh, it brings it to a level like, it's almost like orange whipped cream. You know, somebody's sitting there laughing right now, but it is that sweet and that intense. It's really good. The cigar is really like medium bodied. I can see it going medium to full here in a little bit because I'm not even a half-inch in yet, and it's made this intense flavor. So that's where we are. I really like this cigar so far, so let's just see where it goes from here. But your notes of leather and earth are still there. They are sort of a nice combination of those two, and they're not overwhelming at all. They just add a little base to this incredibly intense sweet orange and cream. So let's hope the rest of it is just as good or better. Well, I'm a good inch in, maybe a little over. Look how funky the ash is doing there. It really looks weird from that end. It's like it exploded. But what's exploded are the flavors. The cream has decreased and the orange citrus has gotten very tangy and sweet, and even sweeter. But it's the cream is still there. It's just really downplayed, but the orange citrus has just gotten almost candy-like sweetness. That's what I like to call it. But it's tangy, and it's just really good. The leather and is still the undertone, underlying flavors, and you know the earth is decreased too, but it's still hanging around. There's just subtle bottoming out the flavors, but this orange tanginess, sweetness is amazing. It's still about medium bodied, but I still think it'll go a little more. Aside from the funky splitting of the ash, which doesn't mean anything to me, you know, we're all about the flavors. It's burning very evenly, and I'm enjoying it very much. Another big change here, and we're only an inch in, incher, so. Well, I'm about an inch and a half in, and as you can see, the ash still hasn't dropped. It will any second. It is really weird looking. But now, back to the flavors. The orange citrus has now been joined with some nice sweet cedar. Those two are combined in this somewhat rich, extremely sweet, and the leather and earth are a little more prominent, but still nowhere near to the intensity of the orange, citrus, and cedar. Pepper remains good. It may have backed down a tick from the 8 that we started with. The finish remains a nice sweet cream, Has a few toasted notes to it now, and there is a little bit of lingering pepper on the finish now that we didn't really see at the beginning. So this cigar is extremely good to me. I like these flavors. I recognize a lot of the original Namakubi flavors. I think that the Ecuadorian Habano may be giving it some of those leather notes, but they don't deter from the overall picture at all. As a matter of fact, they are quite nice. So I don't know when this ash will drop. It shows all the signs of wanting to. Got to be careful, but I'll be back. Well, I'm right at the bands. I'm going to have to remove the lower band very soon. A little bit of a burn problem there, but as you can see, it is self-correcting. I'm all about the self-correction. I don't like to touch them up if I don't have to, and this one's going to self-correct nicely any minute. Now we have some charred oak notes to go along with that extremely rich and sweet citrus cedar combination. The leather is decreased, the earth notes are decreased, but you do have those nice charred oak notes that give it a nice flavor now. The finish is about the same. If anything, it's a little sweeter. It's still a toasted cream, if you will, and some nice lingering pepper. Cigar still is what I call medium, maybe medium to full, depending on who's tasting it, but to me it's relatively about medium. Really a good cigar though so far. This is one reason that this cigar is a good example of, if you read the blog, you will see that I will note that I like it and the flavors are good, but you can't get the inflection from reading it that you do from watching the video, because I am telling you, this is a tasty cigar. I am impressed so far, and it won't change. It won't turn down, I don't think, from here. But I'm going to have to remove this band, so I'll be back here shortly with another update. Well, we're down to the end, so let's wrap it up. One point to make right here. This is a short cigar, relatively short, 5.5. I'm at 2 hours right here. 2 hours and no touch-ups. It all wound up touching itself up, evening out nicely. Flavors here at the end are just like they were in the last segment. That's why I didn't come back any sooner than this. The great sweet, rich orange citrus cedar combination continues. Charred oak notes continue. Very subtle. Leather and earth. Very subtle. If not, it's almost gone away. The charred oak notes are very prominent. Pepper remained very good. I would say at the end, it started out, if you remember, with an 8, very intense. Now it's probably in the stages of a 7. Still very good. Finish unchanged. To me, this is a medium-bodied cigar. Okay, it is extremely good though. One thing I want to point out is that I enjoyed this cigar from start to finish. There was never a time when it lagged. Any change it made was always a good change. I thoroughly enjoyed this cigar. It rivals the original Namakubi that I reviewed, I think it was last year or early this year, I can't remember. But I can't understate, I love this cigar. It is fantastic. I don't know if other sizes are just as good, but this size is amazing. To me, this cigar is rated out at a 96. Absolutely 100% deserves a 96. It is a fantastic cigar. Not inexpensive, it's about 10 bucks. But great. I really would like to have a humidor full of these, but try these if you can. Room 101 is doing some really nice things. And this Namakubi line is really good. This is the third Namakubi I've reviewed, and this may be the highest scoring one, but it's right up there with the best of them. So there you have it, the Namakubi Ecuador Ranfla 96. Go buy these cigars. They are great.